Welcome back to It Resolves, where we play a new deck every single day. Today's deck is Mardu Angels. Welcome back, everybody, to another standard gameplay video. Hope you guys are doing exceptionally well today. I'm really excited because despite having been in Dominaria United for a little bit of time now, I don't believe I've played Mardu Angels yet, or at least not this version. This is kind of an adaptive version of a culmination of different lists that I think are very, very solid. And so I thought I would kind of try and put my own list together, try and piece together something a little bit different, and this is where I landed. We've got a handful of different things that I want to talk through with this, but before I do that, I just want to remind you, we do have our Patreon rewards going up right now. They started at the beginning of the month. We have got some amazing tutors for you guys, so if you want to pick those up, please feel free to check out the link down below. There's also going to be an ad later in this video if you want to check that out as well. But let's talk about the deck, guys. So like I said, this is Mardu Angels, obviously heavily based in white, but with Dominaria United, we got quite a number of really powerful cards. First and foremost, we've got Serra Paragon. We've seen this in a handful of other decks. A lot of mono white likes to play this as the top end. And for good reason, because in particular, you get to replay quite a lot of your low-cost cards. And for us, that's basically anything below that 4-drop. So any of these kind of really good permanent cards that we want, we can actually replay. Archangel of Wrath is one of, I think, the best payoff cards for this deck. You can get a lot of value out of this, especially if you can kick it even just once, fine, twice, amazing. A lot of times you can at least take one or two things out with it, maybe a planeswalker and a small creature, or maybe just a kind of medium-sized creature, so a very good card for us, of course, there. And then I think that's actually it for the Dominaria United cards. Well, I guess Destroy Evil, but that's really just a removal spell. But we also already had a lot of really good angels in Standard. We had Lisa, we had Sanctuary Warden, which is huge in this deck, Inspiring Overseer, and then Giada, most of which are actually from Streets of New Capenna, aside from, of course, Lisa. So some really, really solid cards for this list, and they're supported by a handful of other things like basic removal stuff. So we've got Flame Blessed Bolt. I put this in as a 3-of because it can exile, which I think is actually very relevant right now. We do have 2 Infernal Grasp as well as kind of more catch-all removal, and the Destroy Evil works great for enchantments, but it also can deal with, you know, creature-heavy decks if we need it to. In this 3-drop slot, so again, working very well with that Serra Paragon, we've got 2 of the Restoration of Iganjo. An interesting card for the deck for sure, not necessarily the best, which is why I trimmed this down from 4 to 2 from the list I was initially looking at. But what you get to do with this is replay Giada a lot of the time. So Giada, pretty early on, usually eats a removal spell because she's so good. And so this is a great way of you kind of reanimating that with that second counter on the Saga. And then later on, of course, just getting a nice creature is always good. Also helps smooth out the land drops. Wedding Announcement is a little bit of card draw for the deck, but it's also, of course, a Lord essentially for our board, and then we can just get those little 1/1s as we need them. And then Fable of the Mirror Breaker, again, helps smooth out that mana with the 2/2 that can attack and then create that treasure token. We draw further into the deck, and then the big payoff here is to be able to copy something like a Sanctuary Warden, which allows you to actually draw cards right away. It does a lot for you. So truthfully, Fable is probably one of the best cards in the deck. The one other card I wanted to mention is Elspeth Resplendent. Just as a 1-of here, I don't think this is like the goal of the deck. However, if you get to Elspeth Resplendent, you can certainly do quite a bit, including that -3 where we've got a lot of really solid kind of 3-drop permanents that we can hit. And so I'm very excited to see if we can get Elspeth down and maybe just see what we hit. But all in all, guys, this is a very fun list. I have been kind of tweaking it a little bit as I go, just to sort of get it to a point where I think it's really worthwhile playing, and I think it is. So we're gonna run it through a few games. We're gonna have some fun, guys, and hopefully learn a little something along the way. So let's see how it goes. All right, guys, here we are for game number 1, and how do we feel about this hand? Not great necessarily. We do have that Inspiring Overseer, which is nice. I think this is better than mulliganing, unfortunately. I normally would say that's not the case, but we do have that Overseer to draw us into more, and then we've actually got some really good curve out potential after turn 3. So while that Flame Blessed Bolt really isn't going to be doing much right now, I think that's okay. This also hits Planeswalkers, by the way, which is a really important piece to the puzzle. We see a lot of Liliana coming down and making you sacrifice a creature right away or something along those lines, and so being able to just Flame Blessed Bolt right away is obviously going to be good. Let's do this. And the question becomes, what do we actually want to do here? I don't actually think... it might be Giada. I generally try to go for the safe play here, so I think we're going to go for the Inspiring Overseer. The reason being, we really need to hit a land, and thankfully we did. And so drawing further into the deck there is really important, whereas Giada does ramp us, so it would get us to that Archangel, which is also quite important. However, I think hitting our land drops when we do have that Elspeth in hand is a little more, just higher priority. So we're gonna go that route. Meat Hook is obviously not banned quite yet, though they did hit it for nothing, which is interesting. I guess they are stuck on lands, which is great for us. Let's go ahead and attack in. I do always feel a little bad when this kind of thing happens, because obviously, you know, nobody wants to get stuck on lands. That always sucks. And so I do feel bad for opponents that get stuck there, as well as myself, because that happens a lot. This is fine because we have the Destroy Evil, I suppose. Is there anything else we would rather do? I don't think so. I am going to go ahead and preemptively do this just so we can attack with both of these here. Now, we do lose a life in this process. I don't particularly care. Let's go ahead and attack. We, again, are looking for lands here, so I want to make sure we're taking advantage of that wedding announcement. Because we do need more lands. Unfortunately, they are actually catching up to us on lands, so definitely not the best, but we do have Giada down now, and so we could actually kick the Archangel if needed, which would be quite nice. Sure. Cut down is great. Like I said, Giada really does eat removal spells pretty quickly, unfortunately. All right, so again, we just attack in. I'm actually just gonna play the Serra Paragon. They can't cut down on the Serra Paragon, and they're not anywhere close to being able to Meat Hook to get rid of all of this. So this just offers quite a lot of replayability. They're gonna have to like Infernal Grasp or do something like that to get rid of it. Okay, sure. Great card for sure, because that does get rid of the Giada, which is a problem. It's not the end of the world by any means, but it is certainly good. All right, so we have a bit of a decision to make. First things first, though, I am going to attack with these. Let's go ahead and get that out of there. Now the question is, how do we want to handle the Graveyard Trespasser? We can't Flame Blessed Bolt, obviously, which does kind of suck, but I'm gonna do this, and okay, there we go, we got the win. I was gonna actually plus up on the Soldier token and give it First Strike just to give us that out, but that worked great, that was perfect. Opponent definitely got stuck on land there, but as did we for a turn or two, so that actually worked out great. Let's go ahead and move to game 2. This month's Patreon rewards features the amazing tutor pack with some of the most powerful tutors in Magic's history. If you'd like to learn more or sign up today, please visit our Patreon at patreon.com/itresolves. All right, guys, here we are for game number 2. A bit of an interesting hand. So again, we are seeing mana as an issue from the standpoint of we just don't have red mana. However, I feel like between this and this, can we keep? I'm gonna try it. I don't think this is a great keep. However, we do have the Giada, so that does help ramp us into basically any, oh man. All right, well, that was the worst possible draw for us. So let's hope we either get a red source or we just get another angel that we can play with the Giada and do our best there. I'm assuming that they will have an answer for Giada, but again, that's fine. Also, guys, just want to say a huge thank you to everybody who was kind enough to wish us a happy anniversary. My wife and I, like I said yesterday, just got back from our anniversary trip, but a lot of you guys commented and things like that. Thank you so much. That's very kind of you. We really had a great time, and we really appreciate all the support. It's been a great year. It's been a really great year. I did post some pictures on my personal Instagram, which I've never shared with anybody, so hopefully you guys never saw it. But if you wanted to, I guess you could. It doesn't really matter to me. Okay, not great. We're a bit stuck. But again, bad keep on my end, so this isn't super surprising. We'll just pass here with the Iganjo up. And that's about the best we can do. We do have Destroy Evil up, I suppose, as well, but interesting. Thrill of Possibility, discarding a Swamp. I feel like that's probably not the card they actually wanted to discard. Okay. I'm gonna take the opportunity to just go ahead and blow this up and blank their turn. That's a pretty reasonable hit, I think, and so I'm super cool with that. Red source is great. It is a sulfurous springs, but I think it's okay. We'll go ahead and Fable here. And this should allow us some opportunity of getting further into the deck if needed. Nice, very good card. Okay. What do we, if anything, do we want to discard here? I think it's just that. Elspeth, huh? So we could play an Elspeth. I don't actually think that's super relevant, though. I'm gonna do this first. If they want to trade here, that's great. So the question becomes, do we just want to straight up kill it this way, or do we want to exile it? Do we think they're Reanimator, I guess is the question. I'm gonna go this route. Not 100% sure that this is correct, but this just means that it will get exiled, which is great. And then we can, I think we'll go Inspiring Overseer first, see what we draw. I'd like to hold on to the Iganjo, but I think we're gonna end up just having to play it here. Okay. So now we have Infernal Grasp open this turn, so if they do happen to play something, that's okay. And then next turn, we actually just have Elspeth down. So I think, again, playing that Iganjo right there is just the best opportunity that we have. By the way, killing this with the Flame Blessed Bolt does mean they don't get the trigger, which is just useful. It's a great way to shut that down. Ooh, that's a really good card. Okay. Does that change our game plan? Probably, right? I think we play this pre-combat so that if either of these die, we just get... Yeah, okay. That would have also, I think, forced a removal spell, like, right away. So that felt good. Sure. This is fine, actually. Another target permanent gains indestructible, so I'm assuming they choose a land. Yeah, okay. So this is fine because, again, we just get it back, basically. So that's not that big of a deal. And now we just have a much bigger threat that they are not going to be able to easily deal with, at least. We do have the Infernal Grasp as well, so like we can just kill this, which will probably be the game plan. Cool, land is good. So let's have a little bit of fun. So let's play Giada first. Let's go ahead, and I am gonna preemptively Infernal Grasp just to block a little, or so they don't have a blocker. Let's be a little silly and get a big, and now we can attack with everything, and we win. There it is. That was super, super quick and super efficient. That's exactly how we want to go out. That was perfect. Let's go ahead and jump into a game 3. All right, everybody, here we are for game number 3. Oh, how do we feel about this hand? If we get any land, we get to pull the Restoration, which will help us get to this. Again, a sketchy keep, but we are gonna try it, guys. I'm telling you, we are just getting all the sketchy keeps. Red mana is certainly an issue, so that is something we probably need to sort out in the land base, but that's okay. We can certainly do that. Looks like mono red is the game plan, which is not going to be fun for us, especially given no land there. Any land will give us the Overseer though, which is great. And very often I find it's best just to start trading off as quickly as we can to save ourselves as much damage and then hopefully gain some. Oh no. Oh no, it's happening. Well, we've been flirting with it this whole time, so I am okay with this. If we lose to it, we lose to it. There's nothing wrong with that. But yeah, they definitely are gonna get us, I think, pretty strongly here. Destroy target. Okay, we can destroy the enchantment, but I don't think we need to yet. I mean, this is all gonna just straight kill us. This is where Angel of Wrath is like at an all-time premium, if you hit the lands. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and concede, guys. There is no way we can fight through that. Just a bad draw. That sucked, but that's okay. That means we have time for a game 4. So let's jump right in. All right, everybody, here we are for game number 4, and this is a strong keep. This is great. This is exactly what we want. So we're actually gonna lead with that Sundown Pass. This opens up Flame Blessed Bolt as a draw. So depending on what the opponent gets here, curious to see what they actually take. They've got a lot of great options here. And so I could very easily see them taking like one of these late game threats or just Giada to get us out from under that. Interesting. Okay. I'm assuming they have a removal spell for this then, but I'm gonna make them use it. Mostly because next turn we do have a turn 3 play. So like, I'd rather make them use it and kind of get away with that. This is actually quite good. So I'm gonna go ahead and Restoration. Let's make sure we pull a Plains. That's fantastic. So this sets us up quite nicely for next turn. So we can actually discard a card, get Giada back. Nice. What do we discard here? I think we kind of want to keep this from the standpoint of they probably have a Lily. I'll discard a land. That's fine. We'll get Giada. Let's do this, and we'll go ahead and Wedding Announcement. So again, I'm expecting them to have quite a number of removal spells here. That's not going to be terribly surprising. What we're doing right now is setting up for the best possible scenario given a Liliana, because at the very least we've got some fodder to discard, or excuse me, to sacrifice. Okay, sure. Yep, can't do anything about it. That's fine. Again, Meat Hook will be out of the format in just a couple days, so just something to keep in mind. Okay. Do we take the opportunity to kill this? I don't think we need to yet. I think we'll just get a little 1/1 here and pass. So they're not going to be able to Meat Hook to kill the Architect, at least this turn, which is helpful. Perfect. That's a Destroy Evil card if I've ever seen one. I'm actually very glad I waited on killing this then, because that Shieldred is a much worse threat, at least in my mind right now. So totally cool with that. Another Flame Blessed Bolt. Not exactly what we want, but we'll go ahead and spread the love out. Deal a little bit of damage, draw a card off of that Wedding Announcement, and then everything here is going to get a little buff, which is nice. They have a Junji. Okay, cool. Junji's really good, for sure. That is also quite good. Okay. So, we can just play Lisa, which is like fine. It's not that great currently, to be brutally honest. Alternatively, we can just attack with everything. They probably block the Restoration. Let's do this. This is a bit of a risky play. But I'm kind of curious to see what they actually do here. They have to anticipate something coming down. Yep. Okay. That's funny. Then in that case, I'm just going to play out the Lisa. Just because it efficiently blocks here. Well, I guess this does have Menace, so technically it doesn't block here, but it is a very large flying threat that they're going to have to deal with. And they let us get in for 8 damage last turn, which is a lot of damage. Sure. I'm gonna take 2 more, 1 more, excuse me. So we actually get to pull the same trick twice here, which is kind of nice. Sure, very good. Yeah. See, this is why having like a lot of stuff on the board is really helpful. Lily is always going to be a problem. Ooh, that's kind of fun. Yeah, I'm gonna be a little tricksy here. We're gonna Flame Bless Bolts, and then we're gonna destroy it. So it gets exiled. That's the same trick that we did basically last time. Let's attack one here and these here. Just want to make sure we don't have a Lily to deal with. There we go. I mean, we're doing okay. I mean, they're down to 4, but they could have, there's a lot of outs that this deck obviously could have. Thankfully, Meat Hook isn't one of them. It gets rid of all of these guys, but it does not get rid of the Architect here. And so we are not out of the woods here, or they are not out of the woods, excuse me. Yeah, so we'll do this and shoot him, because why not? Just to get a little extra damage in. All right, and they gave up. That was awesome. Well, aside from being mana screwed, we did really, really well in all of these games. So let's go ahead and wrap this one up. All right, guys, so that was Mardu Angels. We did pretty well with this deck, aside from some sketchy keeps, which I'm pretty good at keeping sketchy hands. Other than that, we actually did really, really well. I mean, the 3 games that we did not get mana screwed in, we were able to take down relatively easily, albeit with some kind of tricksy technical plays, but nothing too crazy. I do think getting around those the Dragon Spirit triggers was something that I'm really happy this deck is able to do. And just as a tip for you guys, anytime you exile something, if that card would die and usually cause a trigger to happen, if it's exiled instead, it doesn't happen. And so that's where those Flame Blessed Bolts, I'm actually really happy we got to see that. That's where those really come in handy. Now that's only one scenario. Obviously they're great at dealing with Lilianas, other Planeswalkers, things like that as well. But all in all, we did pretty well. I'm really, really happy with this. I think there's something to Mardu Angels that's really, really powerful. I also would suggest that post Meat Hook Massacre ban, I think this deck gets better. Because this deck is looking to go wide. It's got the Wedding Announcement, it's got the Restoration, it's got a handful of cards that are just spitting out tokens over and over again. And we saw, especially in that last game, Meat Hook was able to kind of manage that quite well, whereas I think obviously without Meat Hook in the deck, they would have had a much stronger problem to deal with, and they may not have had the answer right away. So all in all, I'm very happy with the way this worked. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Unfortunately, not undefeated because of that one game, but still a really, really powerful run. So very happy with it. I encourage you guys, give it a shot, try it out, see what you guys can do with the deck list. Maybe you can tweak it a little bit and see what kinds of things you can figure out to maybe optimize it even more. But guys, thank you so much for watching. And thank you again for all the well wishes on the anniversary. I really do appreciate it. Love you guys very much. Have a great day. I'll see you again tomorrow.